Well, trading has closed on the 13th of April, 2023. We'll do our disclaimer, go over our predictions, make some calls. It's my trading plan for tomorrow. Remember, I can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. I haven't had much time to analyze the market today. I have personal business, so we'll go over this quickly. Bear in mind, I'm not playing with all my cards. Look for the pattern with the early high, and this is it. Tomorrow should have the early low. We said yesterday's pattern was negative if it could be maintained at the open. Obviously, it wasn't maintained. We gapped up smartly, and according to the rules, that kills the call before the open. We had some higher targets, 41.23.25 and 41.27.28. I thought they might not print because this was negative. That was killed before the open. Those numbers printed. Support, resistance right at the numbers. We crossed an old target off the list, 41.48.43 from 2 months ago. Target hit, resistance over the target, couldn't go through resistance yet. During the day, MEJT doesn't like this rally, so it's going to retrace and trade under this line. This white line here at 41.47.60 is Tom DeMark's TDST line. There's resistance at the line and one full bar past it. We stopped right at resistance. Resistance doesn't have to hold. You can go one bar past it, and until you go one bar completely over that other bar, you're still in resistance. Nothing stops you from going higher, but you don't have to go that much higher. We've stopped right at resistance. This is his TDST line on the weekly chart, 41.66.45. This is the 89-week moving average. Strong resistance along with this line, which is the upper Bollinger Band. I mean, if we gap over this, we've broken through strong resistance, but until that happens, we've had a strong rally too, but not through resistance. Right now, we're over the 50 and 200 a day moving averages. We still think this is overlapping and has to retrace at some point. Because nothing says it has to retrace now. All we can say is that we're at resistance. This is one way to count the waves on the daily chart. You have to figure out how to count this business here. This is one way to count the waves on the 30-minute chart. You count an ABC with good fibs, and B, this is B, is a 1.272 times the length of A. It's Fibonacci resistance length, doesn't mean it has to hold. And this is a different way to count it on the 5-minute chart. The last wave up you can count is an A and a B and a C. And at today's high, C equals A on the nose. So we've stopped at resistance. We have good fibs right at the high. We have a lower MEJT target. I don't think we have to pull back very much, but you can certainly justify topping out here. Of course, if we gap up, all that analysis gets thrown out the window. But right now, if we don't gap up smartly, I'm looking for 41.27.77 to print tomorrow. At personal business, didn't have much time, trade at your own risk. Tomorrow's pattern has really low. We could still gap up. There's a lower MEJT target. If we don't gap up smartly, the rule calls for it to print. Today's rally invalidated yesterday's negative pattern. When these things fail, they fail big. It doesn't mean we trade higher tomorrow, though. We rally to an area of strong resistance. There's a wave count compatible with a pullback here. At this time, I think a pullback, even if one occurs, should be pretty modest. Next higher target's 42.03.05 from last August. Before that, we have to go back nearly a year to April of last year to find a higher target, which hasn't printed. These things don't always print when you want them to, but they do print. Tomorrow has the early low, and that's today's call.